Bellow, attention minions, we face a catastrophic crisis. The Federal Banana Reserve is empty. If we fail, nationwide chaos, maybe even no more ice cream, our mission is a paramount. We must retrieve the ancient Borneo golden banana. But who has the authority to move such a valuable relic across states' lines? This is not a simple problem between two arguing minions. This is a matter affecting the state and the people. This is a classic public law concern requiring the power of our constitution to resolve. We can't solve this by fighting. We need rules for our ultimate authority, the master plan, the federal constitution that's sacred. Document will decide who holds the power to mobilize the mission. Minions, prepare to take off. No, this is where it gets tactical. This is the job of the legislative minions, our supreme rule makers. They don't enforce laws, they create them. Their headquarters is the parliament, where they pass new acts for the entire federation. The federal constitution, FC, is their ultimate playbook. It specially directs them via the ninth schedule. This schedule is crucial, laying out the division of power, which is called jurisdiction. They must check is an ancient banana transfer a matter for the federal list or does it fall under the state list. The legislative minions determine the boundaries because if they pass a law on the wrong list, the law is ultra wires and invalid. That's why we check the FC before we even start the plan.
The decision is met, but now for the action. Enter the executive branch.
Pa, this is state enactment. Banana stays. You must have a permit of banana transfer.
Charles, look at this maze. When the executive minions cannot agree on whose law to enforce and the legislative minions' laws appear to clash, we call the ultimate unbiased referee the judiciary. The courts are the final guardian of the federal constitutions. This is not a simple fine for the magistrates' courts. This is a massive constitutional question concerning the division of power across the entire nations. We cannot start at the bottom of the hierarchy. This question is too big for the lower courts. It demands the wisdoms of the highest authority. Therefore, this case is going straight to the very pinnacle of our legal structure, the federal court. Only the federal court can definitively interpret the FC and establish binding precedent of every future banana crisis. Order is about to be enforced.
Your Honor, the matter before this estimate federal court transcends mere state law. It demands the application of supreme law of the land. I speak of course of federal constitution. Our authority to intervene is not assumed, it is implicitly granted. Article 4, Clause 1 of the Federal Constitution decades that any law passed after Merdeka Day that is inconsistent with the Constitution shall be void. This sets the hierarchy and the Federation stands at the top. Furthermore, we address judiciary, the ninth schedule, which details the division of legislative power, clearly places the management of resources for national interests, especially during a crisis, squarely under the federal list. The state's executive minions, while perhaps well-meaning, have acted ultra-wires. beyond their powers in seizing resources essential for the stability of the entire federation. The constitution has already drawn the line, and we urge this court to uphold federal authority and secure the banana reserve. Silence before this federal court makes a ruling. We must adhere to one of the fundamental pillars of our unwritten law, judicial precedent, or as we lawyers say, stare decisis. The core principle is clear. Courts must stand by what has been decided. I pull forth this prior case and the binding elements there is the ratio decidendi. The legal reason for the High Court's decision on cross border fruit transfers. This prior ruling is vertically binding on the sessions and magistrates courts below us. We must maintain consistency and certainty in the law. However, no precedent, not even from this federal court, can stand against the supremacy of the federal constitution itself. The precedent merely interprets the FC, it does not replace it. Therefore, the court has determined how the law must be applied. The Constitution is our guide, and the precedents show us the path we are ready to rule. The court rules. After careful deliberation and guided by the bindings principle of Article 4, the position is unassailable. The federal constitution prevails. The federal government's mandate to safeguard national resources, particularly in a crisis affecting the entire federation, overrides any conflicting state enactment. The judgment of this court affirms the constitutional balance. The federal minions possess the necessary authority to execute the transfer of the Borneo golden banana immediately. Order is restored, the law is upheld, the executive branch may proceed. This case is closed.
But we lost the banana. But we want the lesson. As the state executive, we must now accept the ultimate authority of the federal court and the constitutions. Even we disagree, the law is final because of the judicial branch. Every minion, federal or states, knows they get fair, transparent, and constitutional interpretations of the rules. No hard feeling, federal minions. We all serve the master plan. Justice was served today. Now let's get that banana transfer. Missions complete. The legislative met the rules, the executive fought over them, and the judicial settled it. That's the Malaysian legal system working in harmony.
Mission accomplished, minions, but remember the lesson we learned today. The system didn't just happen, it's held together by its foundational principles: written law, our supreme federal constitution, unwritten law, our judicial precedent, and the balance of three branches. For you aspiring lawmakers, always check out your statutory provision, know your penal code and your criminal procedure code, CPC. They are the rule books that guide the executive and the judiciary every single day. And finally, a golden rule from the top of the pyramid: always respect the finality of the federal court. It is the ultimate protector of the constitution and the source of binding precedent for the nation. Now go forth, maintain order, and never forget your sources.